Well, welcome Dan and Sarah from the band AudioGenika.
Hi.
Thank you. Hello.
Hiya. So how did the band come together?
Well, back in 2021, wasn't it, Sarah?
Mm,
Uh, we were working on a completely unrelated project uh, with your previous act.
yes. And we discovered we fell in love over mutual music, and we've made music ever since.
Yes, yes. So,
Not in
right.
the carnal sense, obviously. I do
Well, you
class him as my music husband.
well, you've supported some really big bands as well, haven't you, besides yourselves?
Yeah. Go West. Peter Cox, who's the singer of Go West. Peter
Mhm.
Cox was the first one. China Crisis.
Hmm.
That was good. Yeah.
The South, which is like, I think there are many, many sort of bastardized versions of the beautiful South, and this was one of them.
Hmm.
We supported them at the Castle and Falcon, um, but all the other ones were at the Robin in Wolverhampton,
Hmm.
which was great, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah. Fantastic. No, the Go West gigs and the China Crisis ones. They were so many people there, and uh, not there to see us.
No,
But
absolutely not.
no, but they gave us such a warm welcome, and with being a support act, it's always one of those where you never quite know how you're going to be received,
Hmm.
and no, we were really well welcomed, and yeah, we actually made a lot of fans from both gigs who were there to
Mm.
see the main bands, and they've kind of stuck with us. We've even got some like diehard fans now, which is
Yeah, it's quite weird. It's very,
fantastic.
very, very strange. But yeah, it's a great venue. That also the Castle and Falcon. These are all sort of Birmingham venues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hmm. So you got a new single out, and that came out yesterday, didn't it? So Let the Warmth In. So how's it doing?
yes, Dan, you're the numbers man. Probably got two plays on Spotify.
So far, it's been very well received. The the actual specific date is still quite early on, but no one switched off within like 10 seconds, which is a fantastic thing. They've actually listened to the whole thing,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's been really well received. We've also put it into the actual set, so while
Hmm.
the official release was yesterday, the 11th, isn't it? Yeah. We've been playing the track for the last few gigs, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gone down really well
yeah,
actually.
yeah. I mean, just like as a test bed, just to get it out there. It's just,
Mm,
and it's yeah. I mean, it's a really nice track, and it's been very well received. People like it. It fits in with the rest of our stuff
Hmm.
too. We're obviously always trying to sort of evolve our sound anyway,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's yeah. So far, so good, and we're hoping for world domination in the next,
mm.
any time
Being
in the next.
it's being played a lot on amazing music in
Hmm.
America and here, which is great. But it's an interesting the background to the song's really interesting because I wrote it originally with a guy called Ron Herhuth, who's an American. He lives in Atlanta, very
Hmm.
talented musician. And we did put it out about 2, 3 years ago, but it was completely different. It was guitar based and
Hmm.
a lot harder. And so
Completely
I contacted Ron and said, look, would you mind if we did a remake of it?
Hmm.
And he was delighted. But it's quite timely actually because it's all about um, relationships and how one side doesn't want to commit. And actually, that's quite timely because I've just gone through that. So,
Ah, so it's quite personal as well.
yeah, 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 yeah. I always write. You have to be very careful with me because if you cross me, you'll end up in a song.
Right.
My first album I did was all about my ex-husband, and it was called Out of My System.
Ah.
Also,
Oh.
Sarah, I think you're fantastic. There you are.
I'll expect a song called Sean Must Die at some point.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yes, well, hopefully it will do well. You know, and it sounds great live because you can just
Mm,
weave in and out of the vocal.
mm.
I don't think any of our songs ever sound the same live, do they, Dan? Certainly from a vocal point of view.
No, the freedom, and we've designed that on purpose. That while the computerized background and everything is quite formulaic,
Mm.
or to be more precise, structured, the the focal point is always Sarah with the vocals. So as a result, we've got this ability that obviously we've got a start and an end, but
Mm.
the journey to that end that involves,
Fluidity.
yeah, you can meander,
Mm.
you can ad lib, uh, crowd participation. There's been multiple festivals where you've been with that freedom to sort of like, not quite crowd surf, although that could happen at some point, couldn't
Well, I
it?
don't know whether they'd be able to carry me anywhere. They'd probably drop me, but it's quite funny because we've done quite a few festivals this year, and quite often poor old Dan gets left on the stage because I just love it really works if you've got a radio mic to go out into the audience and
Mm.
you get them dancing and they get sort of an individual up close show, and it seems to work really well. I mean, Dan might feel a bit of a tit on his own on the stage, um,
Craft
but
work.
yeah, it is. It's quite funny, but we did one the other well back in August, and it was great fun. And they really loved it because a lot of I think the thing about the live work that we do, I don't take myself at all seriously, and I think that's the key to really connecting with an audience because
Mm.
you want to be you don't want to make yourself or make people think that you're untouchable. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's
Yeah.
really important that you connect and that I mean, very often I end up talking about the menopause, and that's that usually is an icebreaker,
And
especially to the older generation. Um, but yeah, so that's why our shows are never the same, are they,
Mm.
Dan? They just the songs may be the same, but the vocals are never the same, and what happens on stage is never the same.
interactions
So
different. We always play to the crowd and everything, but it's what's proving interesting is that because the actual music that we do is nostalgic
Mm.
from one perspective. We try and keep it as modern as we can using the toys that we've got and everything. But it's going back to, dare I say, a bit more in terms of structured songs. All the songs we could actually take off all the technology and just sit there with a guitar, a piano, and
yeah.
they'll work, and
Yeah.
Mm,
they work really well. And I
mm,
think that's what's proven quite interesting is that that's also been one of the ones that's taken a lot of people by surprise. That it's that the songs are actually toe tapping, catchy songs
Mm.
without any bells and whistles. Yeah.
mm.
When are you playing live next?
We are playing live in Malvern at a place called the OCC, which
So
is, funny enough, it's called the Old Conservative Club. I mean, it's a real sticky floor kind of
lovely venue though. Yeah.
nightclub place, but it's quite fun. It's quite fun, and
Mm.
then we're doing we've got a big birthday party that we're doing in December. We've got
The,
various things on. I mean, to be honest, the summer's been pretty busy for
Mm.
us. I mean, we only ever really planned to do sort of one gig a month, but we seem to be doing more than that.
Mm.
But also, we're being quite selective about what we do now because people expect you to play for free, and you can't do that. You really
No.
can't. It costs money. We bought a brilliant PA at the beginning of this year. Really, I mean, we got a really, really good deal on it. But the amount of kit that we've got combined is
Mm.
is is incredibly expensive.
yeah. It's
And I have a real beef about these open mic nights, although I was at one last night at my boyfriend's pub, but he actually pays them, which I thought was quite unique. So he has a sort of like a house band that comes in and he pays the house band, and then anybody can get up and do. And I think that's fine,
Mm.
but when you see all these pubs now advertising open mic nights, or they won't allow you to play unless you do an open mic night, like a like an audition.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible. I mean,
Mm.
you especially, we know we can do it live. We do it really well, and I think a lot of people are quite surprised when they see the setup, because they think it's just going to be Dan miming on a keyboard, and me just, sort of doing my bit with lots and lots of, backing. But it's not like that. We're very, it's actually quite energetic live, and
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, my beef, both our beef is not getting paid, or because it's ridiculous. You should be paid, because a lot of work goes into it, and if you're going to sing for 2 hours, it's a
Yeah.
long time,
Also,
So
musicians,
that's my beef out the way.
well, no, musicians and their talents, it has a value, and it's not just a case of you you perform for it exposure.
Mm.
Any other sort of like walk of life, you wouldn't expect like a trade to do their job for for
Mm.
exposure, and
Mm.
this is a similar type of thing. But it's as a result, we try and selectively choose sort of like venues where it's they're a lot more respectful of the actual artists that they want to put on, and
Yeah. Yeah.
um, the ones that we've got in place so far. The OCC one is the end of November. I think it's the
Yeah,
23rd.
that's on the door.
And they're fantastic, and it's keeping more venues like that where they value who they're actually putting on, and that's most definitely the way forward. Yeah,
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
And where can you get the single from? Is it on Spotify and places like that?
it's available on every platform you can think of: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon, the anything which you can stream to, it's on it. Yeah.
Great. So just one more time. So the single is called "Let the Warmth In," and let's have a listen to it just now then. And thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Coldness does not endear. Boldness produces fear. Lackluster causes despair. The pool of love is slowly dripping away. The happiness has crashed today. That pool of love, it's slowly dripping away. The happiness has crashed today. Let the warmth in, feel the texture of my skin. Just give me something, please give me something. Let the feelings in, we need somewhere to begin. Give me something, please give me something. Disclosure's not a fear, composure is revealed. Silence is an apathy. The pool of love slowly dripping away. The happiness has crashed today. That pool of love, it's slowly dripping away. The happiness has crash today. Let the warmth in, feel the texture of my skin. Give me something, please give me something. Let the feelings in, we need somewhere to begin. Just let me in. Give me something, just let me in. Give me something. Let the warmth in, I feel the texture of my skin. I need to just give me something. Please give me something. Let the feelings in, we need somewhere to begin. Give me something. Please give me something. Give me something. Something. Give me something.